Hi everybody, Alex Smith here with Triad Connected TV. Today we're going to have a special webinar exclusively for our home services CTV solution. And as people are joining, I'm going to cover a bit of housekeeping. So as you're on, there's a few things I wanted to point out. Number one, we have the chat bar that's in there. If you have questions as we go through, enter it in there. And at the end, we're going to take a few questions and answer that. If we don't get to yours specifically, we'll make sure to follow up with everybody directly. Also, there's a handout, outline, and a takeaway that you can download right through the interface and follow along with us or take that with you. So as we go through statistics and information or any graphs, you're going to have access to that afterwards. So don't feel like you have to capture all that information as we're presenting it. We're going to keep it very casual and conversational today. What we didn't want to do is be real stingy and just staring at a screen. So today I have James with me. Welcome, James.
Hey, everyone.
James Kiranasius is one of our lead account managers in the field, specifically working with home services. That's, in our eyes, it's HVAC, plumbing, electrical, any home services, from cleaning services, yard care, lawn care. But specifically today, we're going to focus a lot of the conversation around HVAC, plumbing, and electrical.
Yeah, no, great to be here. Very excited. There's a lot of buzz around CTV, especially from the home services group, right? Anybody who's a contractor knows that it's all about building trust within your local markets, whether it's having 1, 2, 10, 15, doesn't matter. You want to be the business that people look at and say, I know what I'm getting from them. I know who they are, and I feel like I can trust them when I reach out to call. So excited to be able to introduce CTV, talk a little bit more about it. And there's plenty of people out there and plenty of marketers who I think understand what CTV is, but there's plenty of marketers out there who know that there's a large impact, but still are still searching for really what's the CTV industry about. How do I get started? What are the options that are best for me? Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to break it down bit by bit. Today, let's talk about what is CTV. We'll spend a little bit of time on that. And as James said, then we're going to start talking about audience, the targeting, reporting, and how to get access to it. What is CTV? Connected TV. And there's a lot of terms that you've probably heard. OTT, MVPD. OTT stands for over the top. When we talk about CTV, connected TV, that is all inclusive of any connected television device, large format that you would typically associate to being in your living room or in your bedroom, in the family room. And all of those devices are connected to the internet. And it's a lot of devices that you might not even think about. For example, not only is it your Apple TV, not only is it the Fire Stick, right? But it's also your Comcast cable box, the Dish Network, the Direct TV, all of those devices. I'm going through my PS4 at times. So, it's all connected, right?
All of those devices are connected and we have access to them. You have access to them. As it stands today, it's 84.5%, 85% of all households in America are connected with connected television and consume connected television. That is a massive statistic. That's really, if we think about that, is come out of the blue in the last 5 years, right? It went from, oh, this is neat, I can stream. We all knew about Hulu and Netflix came out, to the pandemic happened, massive shifts in a very short amount of time in the way consumers were consuming content. And now there's a massive opportunity and a complete shift in the market. And we'll talk about this as we move forward, but cable and broadcast are at all-time low subscription rates and consumption rates. And CTV now is, and has been for the last year, the number one most consumed TV medium in America. And that's across all demographics, all age groups, and every region in the country. So if there are dollars being spent on television, they should be spent on connected TV first because it has the most access and is being consumed more than any other television medium that consumers, folks in your area, are watching TV on. The next step in this, now that we understand what connected TV is going to be what's the big differences between cable, broadcast, and CTV. How do we get access to that? What you'll see a major shift in is how you target an audience. So when we first talk about audiences, It's all been about inventory first. It's been for the history of television advertising, it's been that way. Connected TV has completely reversed that. And James, you could talk a little about this. In the field, we present ourselves as an audience first targeting platform.
Yep.
And there's some major advantages to that.
Yeah. So anytime that I'm talking to someone who's in home services and like I said, whether a novice within CTV or have even placed CTV buys before, it's always about the geo-targeting first, right? I want to make sure that I'm getting to the markets that I need to. I'm being cost efficient with my spend. I'm not getting into markets outside of my service area. Yeah. So us from the very beginning, our ability to target down to the zip code level, even putting radiuses around some of these actual locations of where they may have offices, kind of any level of that geo-targeting, we're going to take care of and make sure that we're only and we're consistently serving within those local markets. And then secondarily to that is layering in the audience portion. So, we partner with over 300 plus third-party data providers. Really, it's all about pre-qualifying your audience, being cost-effective. Everybody knows who's a contractor, right? It's a tough business. You have to be good with your money. You have to be good with your finances. So, in thinking about that and with that, being able to pre-qualify your audiences by age, making sure that they're homeowners, they're not renters, household income. There's even, in some cases, we're actually able to pull in market for specific services. So there's in market for plumbing, maybe in market for HVAC services, which is, again, it's a very interesting way to pull all that data together, have it work together, and be extremely effective with who you're targeting.
Sure. So every dollar spent is now spent on someone who owns a home.
Yep.
Has dollars to get repairs done.
Yep.
Or you might be able to segment your messaging, target people with dollars, right, with new systems, and target your finance programs to people of maybe a subprime a credit or a lower income bracket so that you have the right solutions that you're marketing to the right people. And I think the big shift here is once those audiences are built and developed, and that's where James is in the field every day, working with organizations across the country to zero that in. But our home services solution takes a lot of the guesswork out of those first programs that you roll out because they're proven systems, they're proven audiences, they're time tested, and the results are consistent across them. So when we work with an HVAC company, when we work with a plumbing company, what are we seeing and how quickly can people get those things organized?
It's as we'll get it set up as fast as you can move along with us, right? So like you said, there's a number of different programs that we've put together. We work with home services groups, HVAC, plumbing, where even getting into being able to retarget specific customers that they've had or people who have gone to their website, right? A little bit further down the funnel type of thing. But to put together a monthly program like that, to get it set up and say, okay, if you have your creative, 15, 30-second creatives put together. We're going to be able to, all in one place, all in one platform, put that together for you, execute on your behalf, and then have that reporting and measurement that we're going to talk about in a few minutes here. But it's very easy to use, very simple. We want it to be straightforward, right? You're worried about who your customers are. You're trying to figure out what's the best way I could communicate with my customers. We're here to be the experts with CTV. So putting that together, it's as simple as, hey, let's talk about your audience. Let's talk about your service areas. Let's get a forecast together on based on the programs that you want to run, whether it's, hey, it is some type of retargeting program to individuals who've gone to my site. It's some type of retargeting program to people who are existing customers. I want to, send out that yearly reminder. Hey, your furnace maintenance is coming up. I actually just got that reminder in my email today. You got to make sure you maintain your furnace before the cold winter comes. And then for those who are saying, hey, we want to be broader as well. We want to talk and reach out to, I should say, a broader group of homeowners who have a certain specific income, and make sure that we have that consistency and availability throughout the year so that they know who we are. And again, that communicating that being a trusted business is just super, super important.
Yeah, it's that visibility and availability consistently over time, right? And that's, your industry knows it better than anybody. A catchy jingle is going to come to your top of the head. And when that water heater goes out, right? When it's 90 degrees and the furnace goes out or the AC goes out, that's the first name that you want to remember. So making sure, and that's really where I think a fundamental difference is on how CTV is being delivered. We talked about access. 85% of homes across America, it's the number one most consumed TV medium across America. And then the third aspect is that audience targeting. Like these are the key features here. And that audience targeting then not only, James really got into that really well, talking about not only does it geographically target, but now it's targeting people that are qualified by home ownership status, whatever your qualifying targets are. But then the real element is that once we build that audience, we're watching their CTV device. And anytime that there's an ad that comes up on their TV, we're bidding in real time to put your commercial in front of that household, in front of that family, in front of that decision maker. Versus cable or broadcast would just, you're buying specific times and a specific number of visibility. And if you only service maybe a third of the total broadcast area, you're also running your ads everywhere, right? It's not just to your serviceable area. It's also going to renters. It's also going to end businesses, right, during the day. We can really make sure that every dollar spent is only going to be served in front of that audience. And then the strategies, like you said, right? The home services CTV solution, we have predefined programs that you can come in for any budget level, right? If you are spending consistently every month on television right now, we should have a conversation. You should be thinking, what does CTV look like? Talk to us, talk to somebody else. I think you'll come back to us. But you will need to look at CTV. What we've done with that is made it very simple. As marketers, as business owners, there's always this fear with any new solution that, hey, I'm going to give Google Ads $5,000. And if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't have the skills, and if you don't have the training, that $5,000 will be gone. And you don't have the opportunity, the time when the market hits to lose that $5,000. You need it to pay back, right? You need to set those appointments. You need that visibility. And what we've done is taken a lot of that guesswork out of it, bringing it back into the reporting.
Yes.
So once a program's rolling, you're getting visibility to your target audience. James, let's talk about the reporting. How are owners, how are marketers leveraging those reports?
Yeah, so it's daily, right? In some instances, so I've talked with home services marketers who are going through agencies or other avenues, consulting firms, things like that within marketing, and you'll get reports that may take, or maybe you get it at the end of the month, right? Or maybe it's weekly. So what we're doing is the reporting is always live. It's updated through the previous day. So you're able to, and even, having it available with an ungated way so that you're able to go in and say, I'm just going to bookmark it. I want to check it on a daily basis. I want to check it every other couple of days. On my end, I'm always looking at the reports. Our team is always looking at the reports. We're doing everything we can to make sure that campaign is running smoothly and it's performing at its best.
Yeah.
So having that accessibility, having that transparency, where are my ads being served based off of geo results. So we have a heat map, charts of showing where those ads are being served. Video completion rates are people actually watching the whole ad. Where, what programs, what types of inventory are those ads being served on, and what's the performance like, right? For some, it's just about brand reach and awareness. Yeah. For others, there may be, hey, we actually do want to drive some website traffic. We have some specific landing pages that we think would be extremely beneficial towards helping perform as high, the best we can.
Sure. Talk about the ability that a lot of people really value, the tracking, right? Once an ad served in home, when someone picks up their phone, what's the most recent statistic is 80% of CTV consumers dual screen and will research a product or a service that they see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's somewhere between like 70-80%, right, are dual screeners. And the younger you get, the higher the percentage that's going to get for sure. But really it comes down to, right, an ad is served to Alex in home, right? He's a homeowner. He's actually a new homeowner as of late, but he's might be looking for some types of services, right, as a new homeowner. So you're getting in front of that person. Alex then sees your ad, pulls out his phone and Googles it, looks it up, right? We have our tracking pixel that's on the site, and through our cross-device matching, we're able to actually say, okay, we know that Alex in the last 30 days has gone to the website and specific URLs if you're able to provide those to us. Just that engagement, that flow through of traffic to understand who's seen my ad and how have people engaged as a result of that ad.
Yeah, they're coming to the site Then you can A/B test ads, right? If you have a new ad that comes out,
Right.
seasonality, it gives you the power and the control, and we provide full transparency on the reporting side. Lastly here, before we wrap this up, we want to make best use of our time and respect yours, is let's talk about Triad. Let's talk about Triad CTV, our advantage a little bit, how we work and we operate, which is very different, I would say, than other ad platforms or other media services like buying television from your local cable salesperson or your broadcast media salesperson. James, talk about that a little bit. Talk about how we play with agencies. A lot of home services organizations will use a trusted agency.
Yeah.
And we work well with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, our my goal as someone who's on the CTV end, really it's all about working collaboratively with both agency partners as well as direct clients. And really the idea behind that is let's build a program together that's going to make the most sense for you. We have these programs that have been built. I like to call it plug and play. It's not necessarily that simple, but it does feel that easy. And, and really the idea behind it is, you're going to know your customers, right? Yeah. As home services companies, you're going to know who you're targeting. You're going to know who you're reaching out to. You're going to know your own market. We know the CTV industry. And so really what separates us, I think, is that personal touch and working with both agencies as well as directly with advertisers in building out those specific target audiences. There's things that can be unique to every home services contractor that's out there that it's worth looking into, and having that availability to talk to someone on the team and say, hey, I got a question about a data segment. Do you think that that's available? Well, let's look, let's find out, let's build it together. And then and having that feedback. One of the things that I love doing is keeping everybody who I reach out to and I contact up to date with what's happening in the CTV industry, right? So stats, statistics, whether it's just the general CTV industry as a whole, whether it's things that are specific to home services, HVAC, plumbing, and just staying in touch with people and letting them know, hey, here's something that's happened. Here's a new piece of information about the CTV industry that you might find helpful. Right. So I think those types of things, having a bit of that managed service in there, is what sets us apart and really helps people as they're beginning and getting started with CTV.
You mentioned managed service. I think that's a real key point, right? If you go to any other ad platform, and we've all had experience with this, right? You're in there trying to resolve issues, trying to learn things yourself. What we really focus on is we want you to be successful with the program. There's no hidden costs or fees, right? So your ad spend is your ad spend. When we put a forecast together, we're not going to spend more than that. And we have active traders in a room full time looking at every single campaign we do on a daily basis to optimize the performance, to maximize the results, reach, frequency, conversions, whatever the goal is for your program, so that you don't have to. You're running your business, right? Yeah. The phone's ringing, you got leads coming in. Focus on that, focus on execution and doing a great service. What we'll do is we'll make sure that your ad dollars are spent as efficiently as possible. And James can be personally held accountable for it. But we're available.
He's available, right? Yeah, exactly.
And that's a big differentiator between us as an organization. How we work with you is we really are results driven and want to make that available. Lastly here, next steps. If you're interested in learning more, it's a good time of year to take a look, learn, get some research. That's hopefully what we provided you today. Download the takeaway. We will reach out to you directly via email as well after this, so that if you want to have an extended conversation with myself or James, happy to do that, answer any questions that you have. And then furthermore, any questions about, hey, what would this cost, or these audiences? We put together forecasts, options. We can share with you some of those home services programs that we already have predefined with you at no cost. We're not going to charge you for that engagement, because we know and understand, as an organization, it is our objective to educate and to make you feel comfortable with what you're doing. And once you do, and once you understand what's possible, then you're going to spend more, you're going to see the results, and you're going to be successful and have a long-term relationship with us, just as you do in servicing your clients, going that extra mile. And so we're really focused on doing that. The platform is there. You can access the platform and reporting. It's just very easy. Also, we also hear a lot from the field, especially in home services, where things shift, budgets change, you get bad weather.
Oh yeah.
Right? You can so easily come into the platform, slap the pause button, right?
Exactly.
Change the creative out. You're in total control of that at any point. From there, a couple of questions came in. First question is, what does it cost? Well, that's pretty straightforward. It's a little different in every market, right? Because we're live real-time trading. So it depends on the size of your audience, how long you want to run the campaign or your ad flight for. If you have 15 or 30-second ads, how long those are, and how many of them. But you can really take a look at, ballpark-wise, when you come in, we have solutions starting at $500 a month, right? We have advertisers who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, right? So anywhere in between, the programs that we have are completely scalable across the board. So when we do put a forecast together, we'll really break down exactly what those costs are and what those solutions are to scale with you. Next question is kind of timelines, right? So timelines on launching a campaign, it says. I think, James, you touched on it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Really, so it's from start to finish, right? There's no specific time frame. Mm-hmm. There are clients that I've worked with who've come in and just within a few days of meeting and they have everything they need. They've done a bunch of research. They felt that, hey, Triad was the way to go. Yeah. And we flipped it around, executed, and they're live and they're ready to go. Yeah. In most cases, right, it's anywhere between a week, 2 weeks. You're building that out together. You're understanding who your audience is. You're understanding the CTV industry, how Triad works, how we put those forecasts together. I think highlighting those forecasts and being and providing education around that is super important, right? Yeah. You want to understand what you're spending your money on.
Sure.
So I think you're starting from there, 7 days, 14 days, anywhere in between there. But as far as quick turnaround, some people have projects that are coming up. They realize, hey, you know what? I really need something that's going to help me push me over the edge. We've got the fall seasons coming up. Yeah. What can I do? How can I be a change maker within my own market? Yeah. So we can do it within a few days, but as fast as you want to move, as thorough as you want to be in creating your audience and understanding CTV, we'll do that together.
Excellent. It says, you mentioned agencies. How do you work with agencies? Well, that's a great question, right? There are a lot of really great agencies that are specific to home services, specific to plumbing organizations, specific to HVAC. And all of our costs, when we review those are all net, right? There's no adders on there. Your final cost is your final cost. No hidden fees there. Many times that an organization will just introduce us to the agency. Yep. And let the agency handle it in full. From the ad creative to the media spend, all comes from the agency. Others will just connect us to get the creative, right? And then they'll work with us directly. So however you operate with your agency, we've set up the platform to support them, access for you, access for them, and payments and management can be made however you choose to set up with an agency. And we even have programs to work with agencies so that they can then learn the platform and go make those offerings to other clients of theirs as well.
Yeah, and just on that, we've done a number of training seminars with agencies, yeah. Right? Let's help spread the word of CTV. Let's help educate. Let's help our agency partners educate their clients and advertisers as well. We want as many people to know and understand this as possible because it's as you mentioned at the very beginning, the rise of CTV was meteoric and it's continuing. So let's be a partner in this industry for sure.
Last question here, and if I didn't get your question, apologize. We will make sure to reach out to you directly. Last question is creative. Can you help with creative? No, we're not a creative agency. We're an ad tech platform, and execution is what we do in reporting. We do, however, have a special program. Well, I will write a personal jingle for you and your organization, but it's very expensive, and I don't promise it's very good. But my interpretive dance is on point. That being said, we are not a creative agency. If you need help with that, we absolutely have trusted partners that we work with, and we can make some introductions there. But within your circle and connections there within each of your industries, there's absolutely people who can help put those things together. The nice thing about connected TV ad commercials is it's not like it was 20 years ago where it's $15,000, $20,000 for a high production television commercial. you could shoot a wonderful television commercial with an iPhone and somebody who does great with the development. It's more about the clarity of message and the brand that you're putting out there.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining. Hopefully you got some value. You learned a little bit about connected TV, what's happening and where it's going, and that you can take some of that and maybe apply it to your plans, your marketing plans moving forward. Again, we'll reach out if you have any additional questions and make ourselves available. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks.